Hello, Twilight Struggle fans, and welcome to the OTSL playoffs on Action Round Zero. Justin Abramson back with you once again, and I'm so glad you could join me for today's OTSL Silver semifinal game between third-seeded Katsiyarina Makouskaya and their number 18 seed, the Colonel, Ed Prem. Kate got a first-round bye into the OTSL playoffs, then knocked off Markel Elorza and famed giant killer Rami Issa on her way to the Final Four. Ed, on the other hand, did things the hard way, taking down Chris Dolliver, Peter Davich, and Aaron Ng, all as the lower seed. Ed's back is against the wall in this one, as he's down 2-0 in the best of 5. So he's looking to extend his season, while Kate hopes to punch her ticket to the championship series. So wherever you are in the world, and whatever time it is for you, we thank you for coming along for the ride as these two up-and-coming stars go head-to-head here on Action Round Zero, Twilight Struggle's biggest stage. We'll be watching from Ed's side today. He is the USA. So without further ado, let's get into this one. So Ed is playing as the USA. We use 90-minute clocks in OTSL Silver. And so we'll be running the video at 1.5 speed. Kate picked the sides here, so she elected to go with the USSR in odd games and won the first two. So Ed must have this game today if he wants to make it to the finals. And Ed's hand here is one of those hands that's quite manageable as long as you don't get purged. He's got a 4-op, he's got decall. He's got a couple of Europe attack cards that can be disposed of pretty well on turn 1. He's got Warsaw, and fortunately, he has Defectors, which is the no-brainer headline here. So I have to think. So if it were me, I would open up 4-4-2. Headline Defectors. I would put De Gaulle into the empty France and fill it up. And you can hold Suez for blockade. You can space decall. And then you kind of trigger the rest. You could also trigger Suez and not play around blockade. Okay, that's a huge defector for Ed. Purge would have been a nightmare with this hand. You'd have to hold decall, hope your opponent doesn't have blockade. You probably got to space De Gaulle, which I hate to do. And then you got 1-op plays here. So a big hit with Defectors. So now I expect we'll see the traditional Iran coup. Okay, a UN of Marshall. Yeah. I wonder if we'll see Italy. Nope, just an Iran coup and a big roll there for Kate. So she takes Iran. Should be a nice, easy play here for Ed. Going to go to Malaysia. Doesn't want to see the duck coup. That makes sense. I think the standard play is 1 Malaysia, but he's going to go 2 and then 2 Egypt as well to take presence in the Middle East. So that makes sense. Yeah, 1 Malaysia is the typical play, but obviously a duck coup there, you get a 66% shot of getting in there and taking Thailand and almost certainly getting Asia Dom. So Ed wants to make sure that doesn't happen. Oh, and there it is. He's going to space Kate. Excuse me. I'm so accustomed to Twilight Struggle games being played between 2 men. I've got to remember my pronouns here, so my mistake on that. Kate perhaps would have used that for a coup, but with the second in Malaysia, she does not. So a good play by Ed there. Ed then triggers Suez, which I don't mind, but boy, I would have rather seen him go into Lebanon first rather than leave himself with no access to it. Okay, he certainly needs to take Libya here. Okay, so Ed's going to take South Korea. Now, the war is not accounted for, so we'll see if Kate has it. Oh, and she does. She's going to trigger it immediately. Huge roll coming up, and she misses. So Ed's gamble pays off. Kate wanted that first space shot. She got it. She missed the roll, and she missed that roll as well. Okay, big moment in the game there for Ed. On top of that, I was a little worried on Ed's behalf about that play in the Middle East because he's left himself with only ops in Egypt in the Middle East. That's very scary. A big roll in Egypt knocks him out of the Middle East entirely. But okay, he's going to get de Gaulle out of the deck as well. Anyone who's ever watched my stream knows that I love getting de Gaulle out of the deck. So he's gotten Suez and de Gaulle out before Truman has been seen. So unlikely that Kate will contest that. And now, okay, there's blockade. Oh, and that's very nice for Ed. He does not now have to deal with blockade. So he might decide to hold decall now that he knows he's not going to have to deal with blockade. Ed needs his mill ops. And so Ed needs mill ops. I don't know that he needs Greece right now. He would probably want to take France and Greece to get domination in Europe. But he needs his mill ops. And I'm not sure what Greece does for you at this exact moment. It doesn't change the scoring situation. But okay. I would be very worried if I were Ed about a big coup in Egypt. Or that. Now, Ed doesn't even have presence in the Middle East. Okay, going to try a coup here. Needs a 5 to get presence. He doesn't get it. We will see now if Kate has the scoring. That would be a big 6 points for her. Okay, she doesn't, but a 3 wipes that out, and there's a 6. Oh, boy. So Ed pays for the decision. Now DEFCON's at 2, and Middle East is a disaster. Good news, though, for Ed is he's just taken Asia domination and Europe domination in one fell swoop. So the question now, obviously, is which scoring is going to come out turn 2, and which will be delayed till turn 3, if any. So, boy, I would have liked to see when Ed triggered Suez, I would like to see him move into Libya. Okay, a nice hand here for Ed, particularly with containment. Containment can get you 5 ops. And so I suspect that will be his headline. But what it can't do is get you presence in the Middle East. Defectors is also gone. So we could see a Middle East headline. Ed, I'm sure, also happy to draw Vietnam. Vietnam could have flipped Thailand, but now obviously it will not. Kate could theoretically headline D-Stall, go into Laos, and flip Thailand that way if she really wanted to, but I think she probably would opt to fight Asia domination through Western Asia instead. Okay, and there's SOC Govs. Now, 4-op-wise, we've seen Marshall UN, we've seen Purge defectored. U.S.-Japan is in Ed's hand, and we will see. Nope, just going to dump Europe for the 1 VP instead of taking France. Okay, that's a big break for Ed. If I were him, I would take a big swing at Iran. This is a great time to take a 4-op coup of Iran. If you can get a 4, you get yourself a foothold in the Middle East, and you get yourself access to Western Asia. IP war is gone, so that would be huge. I would absolutely take a big swing at Iran. I wouldn't be as worried about France now with Europe scored. I want my mill ops, and I want a shot at getting back into the Middle East. I like this play from Ed. He just misses barely by 1 pip. So that will make it a little harder for Kate to fight Asia Dom, but Ed was certainly hoping to get 1 in there. And he really doesn't have a path to scoring Middle East presence, even if the scoring comes on turn 3. So Kate gets out of Europe Dom, gives up a coup in the process. Now AI war and Korean war, and IP war, in fact, are both gone. This should be Laos, yep. So Ed can poke Syria, but Kate's just going to take Syria and Lebanon. Yeah, he's going to have to spend a lot of ops. He's going to have to poke Syria, going to have to go into Israel, going to have to go into Jordan. That's a lot of ops that I'm sure Ed would rather spend taking Asian battlegrounds. Okay, and Kate's going to pick up a couple of VPs on... Romanian doesn't... I don't know. Romanian certainly is spaceable, but I would prefer the two ops of Romanian, I think. Yeah, I like the poke of Syria. I think that's fine. I like one Burma, and then maybe one West Germany. Truman is still around. One Syria is fine. Yeah, I like that. Okay, UK, I don't really understand. I guess special is around, but you've already got Greece as your European non-battleground. So I don't know that it's a huge deal. I also... Okay, so Ed takes the UK. And there goes Comic-Con, which I suspect will... Yep, and so just going to make Ed's life as difficult as possible. We'll see if Ed wants to flip Lebanon with Fidel, which might be his play. Again, getting presence in the Middle East is nice, but at the end of the day, it's only 3 VPs. Okay, Ed's going to space, miss the roll, and there goes Middle East. Wow. Okay, so Kate had it all along. And she made Ed squirm a little bit, so a good play by her. Yeah, normally you see Fidel space, but I think at 3 ops, you want to trigger it if you're the USA. I like 1 Thailand, 1 Burma. Indonesia is important too, sure, but decal's in our hand and it's going to stay in our hand. So I don't know if it's that important. And I wonder if we'll see a 5-year plan of Asia. Ed also needs to take Europe Dom back, so he will presumably do that on this AR. I would expect him to go France, West Germany, India would be my play if I were Ed. Oh, and there's NATO, so it will activate. Okay, so Kate stops Asia Dom, which makes sense to take Pakistan. And taking India gets Asia Dom back. Okay. All right, so Kate up 7 VPs, and Ed, does he get Asia? He does not. He does get 5-year plan, though. So Kate is going to... Kate will have to score Asia. Okay, a couple of nice redraws here. Marshall and Purge are both very nice. Marshall gives Europe Dom back in the headline, and I think would be my headline. A lot of players would prefer Purge here, though. But yeah, this is, I think, an easy Marshall. The unfortunate thing for Ed is he's made a lot of investment in Europe already. He used Suez, so he used Suez for ops, which was fine, but then he repaired UK, put 2 in Greece, and also put 1 in Turkey. So that's 5 ops spent in European non-battlegrounds. Then obviously Marshall is being evented here. But the good news is Marshall should mean that Europe is Ed's for the game. NATO's in effect. Suez and de Gaulle gone. As long as France gets overprotected, Europe is unlikely to flip. And there's Asia scoring. Okay, so Kate decides that she does not want to use the China card to try and flip Asia. She just was going to hope for defectors and dump the scoring. But okay, so Ed picks up 5 VPs in Asia, and I'm sure he's happy to see those, especially given the disaster that is the Middle East. Also important to note that Kate has picked up D-Stall. So I expect we'll just see a nice easy Panama coup here. And Ed hoping for a 1 or a 2 so he can maybe contest the D-stall. Not going to get it. So, 5-year plan is interesting. This is a risk. U.S.-Japan is not a bad pull, but not what Ed was looking for. That's a risky play from Ed because now you're going to lose Angola. So this D-stall will I suspect go Angola, Nigeria, Venezuela, Chile. Yeah. Yeah, Ed had a chance to pick up D-stall. Obviously, I could have picked up a redrawn duck and cover and lost the game, but a nice gamble there by Ed just backfires on him a little bit. So Ed in the lead in the two most stable regions on the board, Europe and Asia, but he's behind in the Middle East, he is behind in Africa, he's behind in South America, and he's behind in Central America. So, okay, Angola, a little bit of a more conservative D-stall. Kate does not go to Nigeria. Now, we'll see if Ed tries realigns here. That might be my play, given my lack of access, to try realigns in Chile and Angola. A flip of Angola is also in play. Oh, Middle East redraw, brutal. So Ed gets kicked out of the Middle East and unfortunately eats 2 presenceless dominations there, turn 2 and turn 3. Worst case scenario for him. Plus his best scoring, Asia, does not come until turn 3. Okay, Ed soldiers on. He's behind in 4 regions now. Not sure what Botswana does for you. Guess it's a good prophylactic measure, but I think I would have taken South Africa first. Kate is unlikely to go into Botswana herself on turn 3 because she doesn't want to give up mill ops. Okay, UN of NORAD. So Kate's going to miss an AR or have to play China. Okay, and there go the realigned threats. This seems to be a time where you could flip Angola. I don't know that we have a better use of our ops than flipping Angola. So I think that'd be my play here. Middle East is scored. We can't really do anything in Europe. Okay, overprotecting France is important, but I think that could have been done later. Special, yeah. Okay, special was active. Okay, you want to space. See yeah. I would have liked to flip Angola AR5, and then that means we get the China card. We either get the China card or we get Zaire. Okay, and now no Angola flip for us. So this I would think should be South Africa and maybe Guatemala or Botswana. And then you're hoping to get a coup. But yeah, Ed is behind here. He needs some power cards. Yeah, I'm fine with this. Down 10 VP, a quick South America scoring could be GG here on turn 4. Okay, here's a nice hand. Purge and Bear Trap is huge. Grain is big. Africa is not what you want to see, but with Grain in hand, it's certainly manageable. Blockade, not a card you want to see either, but with nothing to discard to it, but that looks like it could be held. Sadat is a great card because Kate is not in Egypt yet. So even though Middle East is scored, that's a great card that can even out the Middle East in the long run. If Ed can survive for the long run, that is. Okay, Allende. And this is it, folks. So I think with Africa scoring, you have to just hope. You just have to hope that Kate does not have South America. So here we go. This is GG if Kate has South America. Does she have it? She does not. And we play on. So, question becomes, how does Ed want to attack the rest of his hand? Does he want to try and go into Nigeria? Does he want to realign Angola? Does he want to try an AR1 Oh, that's not a card you want to see. Oh, that's a disaster. Now you have to immediately score Africa. Yep. Oh, brutal bear trap. Yeah, no question. Ed's upset about that. 13 VPs. And there goes Usurper to space for 2 more. She hits the roll. Ed wants to stop the double, but there's nothing here to space. He doesn't want to space anything. He could space a friendly card. Yeah, I think you're going to have to allow the double. Maybe this is an AR7 bear trap next turn purge and try and get a marathon bear trap going. Salt for grain is also reasonable. Salt for brush is reasonable to try and get into South America that way. Omid's not going to do anything. This should be, I assume, Egypt. You got to take Egypt. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Kate on the doorstep here, and Ed in serious trouble. Yeah, that the Middle East has been Ed's downfall here. A preemptive Suez. Okay, Ed is going to go for a mid-turn purge. Presumably, he wants to couple that with a bear trap. Oh, ABM! My goodness. Kate misses on the roll, and well, the purge was a good one because a 4 would have gotten her into Mexico. So what Ed needs is a path into South America. Okay, the Pope is nice, but it's not going to do anything right now. That's maybe in a late war Europe control situation. Still, I would be very glad it was invented. Since Ed went with a mid-turn purge, I think, yeah, maybe you go with a bear trap. Okay, going to pick up purge instead of ABM. So Ed clearly at this point maybe looking to cause some pain with purge and bear trap, and just going to hope South America scoring doesn't come up until he can Kennedy it away. He's in trouble in Central America as well. And presumably he's going to AR7 bear trap and then coup with purge. Oh boy, big 4-op coup. That's just going to go into Laos. Couple of points in Southeast Asia when it comes. We've already seen brush and ABM used to great effect by Kate. I think maybe you coup that back. You're going to need another mill-op. Ugh. Disaster of a roll there by Ed. Okay. Oh, and Southeast Asia scoring. Oh, so Kate saves 2 VPs. No, but at least has to give Ed the VPs back. Okay. This should be a bear trap event. Yep. And then Ed is going to hope that Kate draws a bunch of 2s or misses some rolls. And now here we are at DEFCON 5. Okay. These are all the cards I think that Ed was hoping would be in Kate's hand. VOA, puppets, certainly not Missile Envy, but this is a pretty good hand here for Ed. He'll be able to get a coup. He can maybe get arms race off. Obviously, it's all moot if Kate has South America, because that would almost certainly be her headline. Certainly with Purge known in Ed's hand because of Salt, Bear Trap in effect, you have to expect Purge here, and I think Kate would headline South America if she had it. Because South America against anything but, I suppose, but voice Junta, oh, we will bury you. That puts Kate on the doorstep at 16. Okay, and a big miss. Also very important, because that was a friendly 3-op. That suggests that Kate's hand is really terrible. She does not have good stuff to discard. Okay, and Ed's going to use Missile Envy to pull. Okay, that's huge. That is absolutely huge. That might have been Kate's. That was another possible card to discard to the trap. So, okay, got to take a coup in South America. Needs a 3, gets a 5. Okay, South America is no longer GG. Central still is, but obviously Kate's in the trap. Ooh. Okay, so Kate does get out. Now, at this point, Central is, I believe, 4. So I think you've got to, you want a coup here, but you also want to get Arms Race off, and you want to, or get Europe off. I think if you're going to coup, this has to be Panama, because Central is 4. If you're going to coup, it's got to be Panama. Or and you just hope that you either roll big or Kate doesn't have it. Alternatively, you score Arms Race and just take your 3 VPs and you move on and survive. Oh, no, don't use, I don't like using Flower Power. Okay, well, a good play there. Hate to use Flower Power with IP War in hand. Oh, sorry, folks. That's right. Kate needs to use Missile Envy here. So, and this is just a 1-op, which should go into... No, not going to go into Colombia. Okay. Yeah, I would have liked to... Because now IP War absolutely must be spaced. Kate could not have scored Central there, even if Ed missed on the coup, because she had to play Missile Envy. Kitchen certainly is not active. This should... Okay, and there's that. Arms Race for more VPs for Ed. Okay, Ed clawing back here. Somebody needs to take Uruguay. Voice is not going to do a ton, though, is the issue. South American battlegrounds are all overprotected. And there goes the Colombia play. Okay. And yeah, that's not great. So I think this is just puppets, right? Into Panama, Nigeria, and Mexico. Okay, VOA makes sense too. I'd be fine with Algeria here. Iran doesn't do you much good. Laos doesn't do you much good. Yeah, I think I don't. There's nothing you can do that can't just be repaired. I think Algeria is fine. Yeah, this is fine. I might have gone to Cuba, just to, because that certainly has to be repaired quickly. The other thing is Ed doesn't want to give up any mill ops here, and doesn't want to give up an easy coup in Colombia. Okay, lads will just take back Cuba. Now I presume we'll see puppets. Should go Panama, Nigeria, Panama, and Algeria. We don't need Algeria. No. Okay, I understand this play, but I would have rather seen. We have access to Algeria. I'd rather see Nigeria, Panama, and then now I guess I can see if we're going to do that AR7, we could go Nicaragua. But Ed, as I just said, didn't want to give up the coup. So, okay, and Panama Canal, that's a great card for Ed to get. So, and then opponent forced to take a one-op coup on Botswana, which does nothing. And now we've got a space IP war. Okay, so pretty good turn for Ed. He gets the VP track back to a manageable number. He gets a foothold in South America and in Central America. This hand, however, is complete and utter garbage. Oh my goodness, this is a disaster. Blockade with nothing to discard to it. Libs, Gunman, South African, which is a problem. Cambridge, which is not free. Wow, what a terrible hand here for Ed. Yeah, and yeah, that Central's a good headline. It's not going to get any better, and it could get worse. Okay, Quagmire. Ed probably not thrilled to see Quagmire. I don't think anybody's ever thrilled to see Quagmire, but this is a very Quagmire friendly hand. So Libs is fine here. Okay, and Ed is out in one. That's huge. So we'll see if Kate wants to take a coup or if she wants to try realigns. I would just coup and be happy that I have Dom. Yep, that's exactly what she's going to do. Nigeria makes sense. Oh, and not a good roll. But Ed can at least get Algeria. And boy, very few free ops here. And he realizes he has to play the China card so we can hold both Gunmen and Blockade to turn 7. Or rather, so he can discard, or perhaps discard to Blockade. He could have to discard A for P, and then he can hold just Gunman. Kennedy is still around, so that's important to know. But yeah, very few ops here for Ed. And now I expect we probably would have seen Junta instead of Quagmire if Kate had it. So, and Brush and ABM are gone, so not much is going to be able to be done here to make South America better than it is. Okay, and that play suggests Kate does not have the scoring. So that's a break for Ed. And now this could be, I think, maybe a Nixon play to take China back. I wouldn't do that. I'd just space South African. I'm fine with a Nixon to take China back is fine. Space, and I wouldn't overprotect South Africa because I'm just spacing this. Okay, and Ed misses on the roll. Ed really trying to claw back in. There goes Duck, and that roll misses. The scary US2s, other than CRGs, the scary US2s are accounted for, though. Ed getting his mill ops, gets the coup. That doesn't do anything to stop domination, though. Okay, well, just as I speak of the devil, Nigeria, Lao is not particularly important. Nigeria and Angola are both overprotected, so I think you probably will just see them retake. I would go Angola here too, even though we've seen Portuguese and South African. I don't know. I'm not sure what a fourth in Thailand gets us, but okay. I would have liked to see one Angola. Because now I think maybe the play is just one Nigeria, one Ivory Coast. Lao is not going to matter for Asia Dom. Could also just be two Ivory Coast if Kate has an inkling as to how bad Ed's hand is. Yeah, giving up CRGs here is annoying. Suggests that Kate's got some bad stuff in her hand, perhaps including OAS. Oh, we're just going to try a coup. Okay. Yeah, Ed can't take advantage of a flip situation in Nigeria, even though Nigeria is a critically important country deciding domination right now. And certainly, Kate wouldn't have given up CRGs. If Kate has Kennedy, I have to think she's going to give it here. But maybe not. Ed hoping to see Kennedy either this turn or next. Oh, and there's OAS. Wow. Now, everything's overprotected here, so not too big a deal. Yeah, I think I like that play from Ed. It actually stops South America domination, in addition to setting up real lines, so that's a nice play from him. Coup presumably going into Peru, and it's going to miss. Okay, so now Ed has a shot at real lines in Chile with Allende gone. Question is, does Ed want to take a 3-op real line and leave himself with 3 1-ops? Or does he want to take the 1-op shot? No, got to take a big roll and hope to see Kennedy holding 3 1-ops in his hand. Okay, and he hits the second one. So now, and he realigns Cuba as well. Wow. That's a huge moment in this game, clearing Kate out. Okay, and there's defectors. So, unfortunately for Ed, he does not see Kennedy, but now maybe he'll get it next turn. This summit, I think, should just go 1 Chile, and it does. Okay, so Kate no longer with any dominations on the board. Things have really shifted in this mid-war, and the big question is what's going to happen with Kennedy? Does Ed get it? He does. Huge. Huge. He'll be able to get rid of blockade gunman Willie. He unfortunately does get CIA, which I'm sure he was hoping Kate would get. CIA probably makes sense as a headline here. So Ed's going to pick up 2 redraws, and what will they be? Ed's probably hoping for the nastiest red cards possible. Maybe Muslims and OPEC. Oh, he picks up Asia. Well, he's happy to get that as well. That should be a nice, easy dom for him. So I think CIA would be my headline, and then I take a nice coup of Nigeria to get Africa dom, right? He's also going to have to contend with Junta. So Junta will go into Argentina. And so maybe this will... So obviously he's not getting a coup in Nigeria, of course. So this will go in Argentina. And if Kate rolls a 1 or a 2, Ed will be able to take back Argentina with CIA. So will he get a 1 or 2? He will. Huge miss there from Kate. She also redraws Middle East. Wow, Middle East coming at exactly the wrong time for Ed yet again. So I think this play is just take Argentina. Yep. That makes sense. Okay, so Kate now with Middle East, but she no longer has domination there. In fact, it scores for 0. So perhaps coming at the right time for Ed. She could take Iraq, but Ed would just meet that by taking Libya. Yeah, and there goes South. So Kate going to score it for just 1. Asia, she's not going to be happy to see that. I think I would score Asia here. I think just get the obligation out. Get your VPs on the board. I don't think taking Chile... I think taking Chile can wait an AR. I don't think we need to fight in the Middle East. I'd score Asia here, and then I'd Kennedy, I think. Okay, I mean, this is fine. Kate's just going to take Iraq. We aren't scoring domination here, and both players know it. Yeah. Okay, now Asia. Oh, okay, I guess. All right, I guess Kennedy now because you're about to be dominated in Asia. Excuse me, you're about to be dominated in the Middle East, and then you get some cards fighting. Oh, and there's another huge redraw for Ed. He gets his 2 best scorings back on turn 7. Summit in Portuguese, I'm sure he's not thrilled to see, but those are much better cards to have than Blockade and Gunman. Oh boy, that is huge. So Kate may put 2 in Saudi and pick up a 3-point Middle East domination, but Ed is going to get 6 from Asia and 5 from Europe to even up this VP track. Yeah, this should be 2 Saudi and maybe 1 Israel. Yep. Asia for 6. VP track will go down to 2. Middle East, take it back up to 5. And then Ed's going to pick up VPs from Europe and even out this VP track headed. That seems like it could have waited until after we scored. I'm a little confused by that. I like attacking Saharan states and getting our mill-ups. That part is great. But I think it could have waited till after the scoring so that we could immediately follow up. Also, flipping Nigeria is very reasonable as well. So I like the move by Ed. I just would have scored first. Europe isn't getting any better. And there's Camp David, so another VP for Ed. That takes it down to 4, and Ed will score Europe now, presumably. Or he may flip. Nope, going to score and pick up 5. And now Ed up by a VP. And, okay, nuclear subs obviously need to go to space. So this should be a flip of Nigeria. Okay, Ed, I can understand where Ed's coming from. He wants to hold the EU to the late war, which I get, to attack Europe. But boy, I love the idea of, I see at this point, I think we got a great shot to win this one in final. South America's even. Yeah, we're behind in the Middle East, but we're up in Europe, up in Asia, up in Central America. Fidel is gone. We're in good shape on this board. I love the idea of flipping Nigeria so we no longer have a bad region other than Middle East. Okay, decall. Yeah, decall over protects Nigeria, so now that option is no longer available. Okay, so we'll take back Algeria, we'll take back South Africa, and Chile makes sense too. Okay, to even up South America. So here we go to the late war. I definitely like Ed's position better in this game, but it is still a close game. Each player with 2 domination on the board. Okay, a nice hand here for Ed. Wow, Chernobyl and EEU. So that's interesting. Chernobyl, EEU, and some big ops here. So now I don't know if Ed has the ops for control. I'm also not sure Ed wants to go for control, given that the board looks pretty good otherwise. But War Games in his hand helps things a lot. So if Ed goes for so you could see Chernobyl here. Obviously, you don't want to see Reformer. All right, North Sea. Ooh, ABM. Okay, so North Sea is a good headline because this is a good North Sea hand. I think you're going to space libs, trigger Glasnost. Okay, so ABM, what's that going to do? Panama, presumably. I think it's Panama, right? Oh, and a huge, huge one. Now, Kate may just try that again. Just a 2-op, needs a 5 and gets it. Okay, so yeah, Ed now has to take Mexico. So Ed could Chernobyl Europe, EEU, flip, pull. Oh, wow, okay. So that suggests that Kate has solidarity. It also suggests she doesn't have reformer. Ed misses on the roll, but that's not particularly important. We're not holding Star Wars this turn. Chernobyl and EEU after that preemptive overprotective Poland could be interesting if Kate does have to give up. Oh boy, IP war. Going to even out Asia if it hits, and just one short. That's big for Ed. Okay, Glasnost coup of Nigeria. Anything but a 1, and he hits the roll with plenty to spare. So now Ed's only bad region is Middle East. So the North Sea headline from Ed makes sense, but this might be a hand where you want to hold 2 cards. You want to hold Chernobyl and EEU. Ed doesn't have a great path to 6 VPs, so I might play War Games for Ops here. War Games for Ops to take Israel is perfectly reasonable. Evil Empire for the event is reasonable as well. With Flower Power in effect. I'm fine with the event here. I don't know if I'd want to put a DEFCON card in the deck by taking Cuba. But okay, it is spaceable. Good turn here for Ed. We'll see if Kate does have solidarity. If Kate does have solidarity, we could see EEU AR7 and then a flip on AR8. Kate thinking hard about this move. She needs to be thinking about her path to victory. She is not ahead in any region other than the Middle East. And the tools she has to get back into this game are dwindling as well. Okay, South African. Yeah. Yeah, I like this from Ed. I like just taking Israel. I think that's a good play. It affects domination. So after all that, so Ed took 2 presenceless Doms in Middle East in the early war, but he evened it up. He's evened it up now in the late war. And how I learned coup, so we'll see. EEU, I think, is a fine event. But Ed probably realizes that he's well ahead in this game now. If we're going to go to Costa Rica, I would have liked to see one Colombia to set up real lines in Panama. And a very nice hand for Ed here. An automatic Cal headline. And boy, yeah, if Ed had gone one Colombia there, we could see real lines in Panama for central control. I much prefer that to the overprotective Mexico. AWACS here is a pretty nice event. Stop Muslims. I believe Duck is around, so I don't think it can play 5-year plan. UN of Che makes sense. And then Aldrich empty on AR7. Yeah, EEU event might have been interesting, but again, needs to be supported by other Europe attack. And Ed doesn't need to be that fancy here. There's a comfortable domination in Asia, comfortable domination in Europe. Now, Ed does need to worry about Reformer here, but he can overprotect his battlegrounds. And sure enough, there is Reformer and Kate with a 1 VP lead. So she does. Yeah, I would do this. It's gross. It doesn't feel good. It's not what you want to do with your ops. But I like this play. It also, of course, I wasn't thinking about this, but of course, Cal shifts the VPs from USSR +1 to USA +1, and so deactivates Reformer. Now Reformer only gives 4 influence. I think Saharan is fine here. Go get back into Saharan. Doesn't change Dom, but I also like Colombia. Okay, he went UK so that this can't so the special can't be deactivated. I would have liked, yeah, I think Colombia would have been fine to try and get a realign there. Yeah, and they're central, so that could have potentially been worse. But okay, they're central, so 3 points for Ed. Oh, and Kate does go 2 in the UK, so she's looking to use special to poke. Ed at this point happy to overprotect his battlegrounds. He knows he's in good shape. There There's Alliance is going to miss. Kitchen should be 2 VPs. I believe Muslims is around, so AWACS is a good event here. Yeah, now would be the time for AWACS, I think. Solidarity doesn't do much. Normally, it would be a no-brainer event for me to stop Poland's overprotection, but Chernobyl and EEU are gone, never to return. Okay, that's fine. I guess you could still event it. Give the USSR something to think about. You do need your mill ops. Terror not going to really do much. Yeah, that's not the card you wanted to see hit. But and it does make Ed miss an AR or play China, which I suspect he will choose instead to miss an AR. Okay, that coup is going to give Ed a nice Africa domination, so that will be 4 DOMs on the board for Ed and 2 regions that are even. Olympics for a coup, and so Ed played North Sea last turn, and he had an extra AR. This one, he'll be short an AR. As I suspect, he will not want to use China. Oh, and Kate did have Muslims, so now cannot use it. I would I would hang on to China, but I guess you also don't really need it because even if you get Ortega, terrorism and Aldrich are both gone, so not hugely necessary to keep China. But okay, here we go to turn 10. Ed up or tied in every region, and he gets a banger. Wow. Grain, Purge, CRG, Missile Envy, a VOA to end things. Brush. What a hand. This is an embarrassment of riches and is going to be a victory for Ed as he's going to stay alive in this series. Wow. What a hand. This is the hand you dream about as the USA on turn 10. Or, let's be very clear, on any turn. No late war cards in this hand. This is all mid and early war cards. This is a hand you're happy to have anytime. Okay, so yeah, We Will Bury You and Cal are both gone, so Duck is safe. I'm a little confused why we're headlining Duck over Grain. But okay. Yeah, Grain could have saved Italy, but okay. Ed may be wishing he had triggered Evil Empire. Gonna brush Italy, needs just a 3, and he hits it. Brush wars are automatic, JR. So good roll there from Ed. Coup of Botswana to set up realigns in South Africa. Yeah, and it's overprotected, so CRG actually isn't going to do much. I think green is fine here. Or a mid-turn purge. Yeah, I don't know what CRG really does for you here. I think I'd rather use CRG after the realigns than before. I'd rather use grain now, I think. Also, Ed has this one. Won. He's got an 8 VP lead. He's got 4 dominations. He's got VOA to finish, and nothing. Aldrich and Terror are both gone. Nothing that can interfere with an AR7 VOA. There goes the realigns in South Africa. They do not work. Duck and Cal are gone. I believe Olympics is gone too. And even a Summit pull, if Kate has 5 1-ops, would roll, would be rolling at +4. Kate's going to try again on the realigns. Wow, bad miss. Finally hits a roll too little too late. This should be green. Ortega. I don't think you want to play that. I'd space it. I mean, I would just space Ortega. I think that's fine. Okay. There goes Ortega trying again with the realigns. Gets it down to 2. So Ed will presumably take it back. Taking Jordan is interesting, although even a poke still doesn't give Dom because of country count. But obviously a VOA will. Okay. Okay, realigns finally work. Ed discarding here. Just so there's no real reason to discard. Yeah, that's wise. Also, you're going to play VOA AR7, so might as well just use the 4-op. And there indeed goes Africa. Okay, so all the scorings do come back in the late war. Ed is going to end the game with domination in every region of the board. And congratulations to Ed. He moves on with a 39 VP victory in final scoring. So the series now Kate 2, Ed 1. They move on to Game 4 in their semifinal series. Ed's still behind, needing to win 2 in a row, but he gets up off the mat to take this one. But that'll do it for our coverage of Twilight Struggle here on Action Round 0. This is Justin Abramson. We hope you enjoyed this game as much as we enjoyed bringing it home to you. Until next time, it's Justin Abramson signing off. That was fun, but now it's done. So long, everybody.